I can actually email to you since you're not here in the office. All right, so we'll get started. Thanks for joining in online. Too bad you weren't here. I can mail everyone out a donut and some coffee if you'd like, but doesn't seem anyone's here. So I didn't prepare a slideshow. That's because home insurance is generally the most boring topic that someone can talk about, and I don't want to take an hour and a half and put you to sleep. So to start, my name is MacDonald. I work for Allstate Insurance here in Halifax. My office is on Carney Lake Road. Allstate, if you didn't know, we do personal lines of insurance. So we do home, auto, boat insurance, ATVs, snowmobiles, any of the toys that someone may have. Specifically, we're going to focus on some home stuff that can help all of you close your deals. So to start, I don't have a very long presentation, so I won't keep you occupied for too long. And if you have any questions, you can shout it out or just type it out up here, and I'll check behind me to answer your questions. But the first thing that I know is very, very common throughout HRM, especially in any newer construction that's built in the last 20 years, is this here. You can't really see it, but it is Kitech plumbing. So I can send you all this on Kitech, and basically I've come across a couple agents here with Keller Williams that have had some issues getting their clients letters of insurability or even binder letters without inspection, or the Kitech holding that up, because as we know, it is a very common issue nowadays. Allstate's stance on it: we do not care. We will insure a home with Kitech plumbing. We do reserve the right to inspect the home. Now, the only stipulation with the Kitech is that if there has been prior claims on the home as a result of the plumbing, then we would require that inspection and a certification letter saying that the problem has been fixed. Beyond that, the only thing we encourage anyone that's buying a house, and I would encourage all of you to share this with your clients as well, they can go online and become part of the class action lawsuit that will help them have that replaced down the road. They have until January 9th, 2020 to do so. Beyond that, their concern, unfortunately, will be left to go by the wayside. Any questions on the Kitech piece? No? Okay. So beyond that, a general overview of your home insurance. So Allstate does what's called a rate by peril product. So we rate by the risk itself, not so much by, how much how long you've had insurance. Now that does play a factor, but it's a small factor, or, it doesn't rate based on solely on your credit rating. It's very much a combination of things. So we look at, the most important things we look at are the age of the home. Obviously, the newer the house, the better. We look at things like if it has oil heat. Oil is one of the largest losses that any insurance company can incur. So we do rate on that. Unlike other companies, we do offer a full $2 million coverage when someone does have oil heating with an oil tank in their home. So that's very good to have. The other things we look at would be if there's wood stoves or pellet stoves. And then we look at what's called sewer backup zones. So a lot of insurance that you may not know is rated by your postal code. So where you live plays a very large factor in what's going to determine your rate and what's going to make the process smooth, quick, and easy. That being said, Allstate and myself, we can actually insure anywhere in Nova Scotia. So if you have someone that you're helping in Yarmouth or someone here in Halifax, you can definitely send them our way, and we can take care of them just the same as if they were in our backyard. Unlike with some local brokers, they may not want to, a broker in Halifax may not want to insure a property in New Glasgow or Antigonish or Yarmouth, for that example. Thanks, Rebecca. Could you change your name? Because that's, yeah, okay. So a few features. When should the oil tank be replaced? Great question. Which Holly is this? Is this the Holly that I have met? Holly Shellman? Perfect. So oil tanks, there are different ratings. So different manufacturers will offer a different warranty, which Allstate specifically, we recognize, for example, the Granby EcoGuard, which is a steel tank but has a specific coating on the outside. We will recognize that for 15 years. Your standard steel oil tank is a 10-year replacement if it is outdoors, 20 years if it is indoors. I also have a list I can send you for the oil tanks. Great piece of information to have if it's something that you're going to help your client negotiate as part of your deal if the tank does need to be replaced. With a fiberglass tank, it is good for 30 years, with the exception of a ZCL composite tank. That brand specifically is good for a lifetime, providing that the client can obtain the paperwork from when it was originally installed. Otherwise, it is also good for 30 years, and that's whether it's indoor or outdoor. Other things to look at when you're going through your home inspection, which you can't see this either, but again, I will email it out to, I can send it to Rebecca and she can send it all to you because she'll have your emails easier than I would. But this would be a list of the questions that Allstate, and I would say 99% of all other insurance companies would ask for when providing a quote and when setting up a policy. What I would recommend to do, especially where most of you attend the home inspection with your client, is have this given to your client during the home inspection. The inspector will be able to answer most of these questions as he's going through the standard inspection. Makes it very, very easy for me to do my job, to get that letter of insurability out to you, to get that binder letter out to the lawyer, because then we're not going back and forth to find out the age of things like the hot water tank, the electrical service amperage, age of the oil tank, brand, all of those different things. This covers everything that would need to be known to provide an accurate and complete quote and then move very easily into the policy. Any questions so far? No? Okay. So beyond the oil tank, there are a couple other things that we would need to be replaced based on age, one being the hot water tank. We will recognize it up to 15 years. Generally, a hot water tank will only last about 10 years before your heating elements start to burn out or you start getting some rust or corrosion. But at the 15-year mark is when we make it mandatory for that to be replaced. Your roof is good for the warranty of the shingles as well. So that's another big factor that we look at that may slow things down if the insurance company or Allstate in this situation requires the roof to be replaced. That goes for 25 years with your standard composite shingles. If it's a metal roof, then we all know the metal roof is guaranteed for life, so we would not require that to ever be replaced. Other main factors that for your clients, if they ever ask you, why is my rate so high or why is this rate so low, if there seems to be discrepancies and they're coming to you for advice, fire hydrants is a very, very big factor. The closer they are to a fire hydrant, the better. And then obviously the closer they are to a fire station, the better. And that's just because if there is a fire, we want to know how fast the fire department can respond to save the homeowner's investment, their home, their life, and it also helps us evaluate the risk on if there would be a total loss due to fire. Some things looking at the rate by peril that does come up a lot, and I've had a lot of questions that personally I would advise if you are selling a home to someone that has electric heat. We all know that electric heat is very expensive outside of a heat pump, and a lot of people look to go to wood heat. Although very efficient, insurance-wise, it will cause a substantial rate increase to have a pellet stove or a wood stove. So if your client is looking at changing the way they heat their home upon buying it, advise them more towards the heat pump. It's more efficient. It's going to save them long term. It reduces their risk. It's going to save them on their insurance premium every year. I got all these great brochures made up and coffee and donuts, but no one can eat them, so I'll just have to keep talking instead of you having the visual. So what we offer for a home product is we have 3 levels of packages. We have our basic package, our elite, and our VIP package. The only package I will sell to 99% of my clients would be the VIP package. It encompasses everything. It is an all perils package. It leaves them with the least amount of worry, the least amount of questions on what is covered and how to go about it. A couple neat features to our VIP package that sets us apart. We have what's called a disappearing deductible. So every month that a client goes without a claim against their home, and this applies to auto as well, we will reduce that deductible by $100. So it encourages people to start off maybe with a higher deductible, especially if it's a newer home and they're comfortable, their level of taking on that risk. They can save themselves a substantial amount of money by taking that higher deductible. We also offer a claims forgiveness feature. So if someone's coming to us and they are claim free for the last 10 years, we will offer them claims forgiveness on their home. So that first claim that they put through, there's no additional surcharge for it. Their rates won't increase. And as I always tell them, make sure that it's a good one. Don't use it on a couple $100 claim, use it on a couple $1,000 claim. We also offer personalized coverages, so you can have a game and fishing package. So this covers things like additional coverage for your boat, for your equipment, your licensing. If you're injured due to and not able to use your license for that season, we'll actually cover any costs for licensing, membership, or clubs that you're associated with, up to $1,000. Same goes for ski and snowboard. So if you, say, are a Martok member and you break your leg, we're going to reimburse you for that if you want to put that through as one of your claims. The golf package is really neat. This is my favorite. As Rebecca knows, I very much enjoy golfing. I'm very bad at it, so you'll never see me at a Keller Williams tournament. But the golf package has a neat feature called the hole-in-one coverage. This does not count as a claim against your package. So if you get a hole-in-one, it covers you up to $250 to buy that drink that is customary for the clubhouse when you return, because you're the jerk who made everyone look bad and get the hole-in-one. Also, for anyone that has students living away, you can add on our student package, and that covers property for a student living away from home in a dorm. Say the family is located in the valley and they're coming here to go to SMU or Dow, that package will make sure that they're covered for their computer, for theft, any of their personal belongings, liability coverage, etc. And then the last one would be lawn and garden package. So for anyone that has any garden tools or small lawn tractors, things like that, we can actually cover that right under your home policy. These are great add-ons. With our VIP package, you get to choose one for free, and then each additional one, if you choose to have more than one, is only at a cost of $35 per year. Any questions on the coverages? No? All right. I won't get too much into auto insurance. I don't want this to kind of be a sales pitch, but something to look at as well. Encourage all of your clients to shop their home and auto through the same company, because there can be substantial discounts. With Allstate, it works out to about 34% to bundle your home and auto together. So there is a lot of advantage to do that. Motorcycles and boats all fall under, well, the boat falls under your home policy. So depending on the value of your boat or your client's boat, we can take care of that as well. So I want to go back to the sheet here with the questions. Is there any questions that you could think of that your client asks you frequently that may be important to insurance or important information that you could pass on to them? No? Okay. Nope. Yes, Kitech. Kitech is not an issue. Give them my phone number. We don't even ask the question about the plumbing if it is Kitech. when I send this out to you, you will see that it says upon inspection of the home, hey, you get to have all the coffee and donuts to yourself. It says that we got a couple people, yeah. I don't know if we started. With the Kitech, it says that we may inspect, as I mentioned. It's very, very rare that we will actually inspect the home. The only reason we would is if the client at their previous address had prior claims. That would prompt us to do an inspection. Not necessarily to this house. We just want to ensure that they're responsible homeowners. Insurance is all about taking care of what you own. So if someone has a high frequency of claims, they're more likely to have their home inspected. It is very, very random. So when you are referring people my way, I can't necessarily tell them that we're going to. We just may. They would be given adequate notice. It could be, in 10 years, it could be right away. But as far as the Kitech goes, we will cover it. We don't ask. And it's a non-issue. We don't surcharge for it. So if they're calling some companies, they may say if you have Kitech plumbing, they charge an extra 10 or 15% for your water coverages or limit your water coverage. We do not do that. Our water coverage stays the same based again on that rate by peril product and your postal code. So every area has different limits for your water coverage, but with Kitech it doesn't change. We're okay with it because, we're going to get our money back through the class action lawsuit. So we pay the claims, we take care of our client, and then through the art of subrogation, we go back to Kitech and get our money back. Also, the failure rate based on the studies that Allstate has done is not high enough that it needs to be something that we should be concerned about. Obviously, it is an issue because a lot of people talk about it. A lot of people are concerned with it, but that's, you can attribute that to media. A lot of people, it's got a lot of attention. It was very popular. It's in a lot of homes from, 1995, that area, to 2007. So because it's common in that time, that's why a lot of companies look at it. But for us, we're going to get our money back on the back end, and we want to take care of our clients. We know that the risk is actually minimal to us. Water is one of, it can cause a lot of damage, but it's actually one of the easier claims to clean up as opposed to your oil. That's why we're a bit more strict on the oil side of coverage versus water. So I'll just, even though I'm going to mail this out to you all, I will go through a couple common things that we'll need to know, and that way you have it before you have it. So the key things that we always want to know with the electrical panel is if fuses or breakers, the service amperage. Always good to check for copper aluminum wire, the age of the hot water tank, as I mentioned. Bathrooms and that kind of stuff is pretty straightforward. Your client's going to know that before inspection when you show them the home. I'd hope they're not walking around with their eyes closed. The heating sources, we want to know all of the different types of heat in the home, the amount of adults and children living in the home, and that's just from a liability aspect. We need to know how many people are going to live there so we know how many people we're covering. Pets, for the same reason, we'd like to know about the pets in the home. And then the oil tank we already touched on. So those things, the main questions that I'm going to ask are the age, is it steel or fiberglass, is it indoor or outdoor, the brand, and then the last date that the heating system was serviced. So whether that is a forced air furnace, your baseboard hot water, or a wood stove or pellet stove, we're going to want to know when it was cleaned and who it was cleaned by. We don't necessarily look into if the wet certification has been done recently on a wood stove. We want to know that it is CSA or ULC approved. So it's always good to, when you're going through that home inspection, snap a picture of the ID plate of the wood stove. That way you have it, because we're going to need that information. I would encourage the wet certification. It does save the client some money on their premium. It also gives them peace of mind to know that the stove is properly installed. As codes can change. Some people are very handy and they'll install it themselves, but they may not install it with the proper measurements and the proper ventilation. So you want to encourage that wet certification anyway. And it's just a safety thing. It also, like I said, gives them that discount. I don't get it. Oh, okay, back here. You require, no, I guess I just answered that. We do not require the certification. It's nice to have. You should encourage it, as you should encourage all inspections. Peace of mind is great to have. I know I've certainly seen Rebecca going through setting up many and many of them. So it's good for your client. They may see it as an expense, but down the road it will save them money and help them out. Any questions? No? Any questions for you? No? I guess that's all I really have for you. Like I said, it's a pretty boring topic that I could sit here and talk to you about the legislation and what we look at when we do our home inspections and all of that, but none of it is really relative to, other than your own personal knowledge, is really relative to helping you and your clients. And a lot of it, you know, especially on the claim side of the business, isn't necessarily something that I would get into. I'm not an expert in claims. However, what I would encourage you and all of your clients, before you make a claim, especially on your home insurance, contact your agent who sold you the policy first. As soon as you call a claims number, whether you decide to go ahead or not, and they pay you any money or not, that is now an open claim and counts against you. You don't want to do that. I encourage all of my clients, call me first. Let's talk about it, see if it's something that's worthwhile putting through. You know, I understand someone's got water coming in their basement. It freaks them out. The first thing they want to do is call their insurance company to get it to stop. But there's things to consider. Is your basement unfinished? If it's unfinished, plug it up till the rain stops, then maybe call someone else because it's going to do minimal damage. It's just water. You can mop it up, and you don't want to call your insurance company and have a claim go through that may be denied. Now, with that, a couple of the common ones that we may see that I do get calls on would be cracks in the foundation. That's considered more of a maintenance issue. And I think that's also addressed when you're going through your home inspection, that they should be repaired. Because any water infiltration that comes from that would be groundwater, and it's generally not covered. There are exceptions to every rule, of course. Recently, I can tell you I've had one where the fill line for the oil tank was coming through the concrete and it was leaking around there. That was a claim that we covered because it's not as much of a maintenance issue as there was a rubber gasket that kind of wore out and the water started seeping in. But always call your agent that sold you the policy before you contact the claims line. And that only necessarily applies to home, but auto policies as well. Your auto is a bit, well, it's a lot more heavily regulated by the province than home insurance is. So there's a lot more rules to follow. You can't be charged for certain claims. This is supposed to be professional. I think so. I don't know who this one is, but yeah. So that's my advice to all of you, and that's how we can help, or I shouldn't say we. Do not call anyone else in my office. Call me directly. Much like yourselves, we work on a commission basis. We work on a referral basis, so I appreciate anything that you can send my way. What I can guarantee you is I will treat your clients the same way that I would treat you or treat my wife, I suppose. Some of you are already my clients, so I think I've proven that myself. And you know, we're in the business of taking care of our clients. We all want to close the deal, and we want to do it quickly and swiftly, because when things get held up for nonsense like insurance or mortgages or proof of insurance, then that's not good for anyone. So what is really nice about Allstate, we are a direct writer. I guess I do answer to people, but I don't answer to anyone. I underwrite my own business. I don't have to necessarily submit an application for approval if it is a standard application. And by standard, I mean no prior claims. The house is in good standing. It's not, a 200-year-old home. There are obviously situations where I do need to submit for approval, but unlike the broker world, we take your information. I can write the application and bind your coverage same day. So if someone comes right down to that deadline and they need it done, I can get it done for you. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So Wendy asked if I normally write the binder letter that would go to the lawyer's office. The answer is yes. That comes directly from my desk. I type it up, send it myself, so it's very quick. It doesn't have to come from our head office or anything. We have the authority to issue a letter of insurability at the quote level when you're trying to meet your conditions, and then we have the authority to issue the actual binder letter that coverage has been bound on the property for the possession date. Yeah. Anyone else have any questions? No? Well, when we started, like I said, I didn't have an hour and a half, but thanks for tuning in for this 30 minutes, and I will get my contact info to you all. I don't think you can see this, but if you have a pen, my direct line for my office is 902-700-5795, and my cell phone number, which you can share with your clients, or if any of you ever have any questions, is 902-266-6606. And you'll get my email once the information is sent out to you. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, you can.
I don't know if they're still there. I don't know if you guys are still there. This is Wendy. I really wanted to get in here to listen to Aaron, but I just wanted to let you guys know I started using him personally this year, and he saved me a huge amount of money. I've moved all my insurance to him. And he also has been great with my clients. So just wanted to let you know that.
Thanks, Wendy. I don't know how to shut this off, so now you're just going to hear some dead noise for a little bit.
Sorry, I was rushing to get here.
Oh, that's all right.
Oh,
I started right on time because everybody was online.
Yeah, how many people are taking advantage of that? Didn't
It's
think
actually
to.
great.
And I actually could have stopped at my iPad and I didn't think to anyway. Like, I want to meet you anyway. In person. Yes, nice to meet you in person too.
This just has all of our. Just have. Kind of explain.
When you said that.
Yeah.
Does that limit?
It's just only for paid claim. So effective. As far as the client suit, just to the legal aspect of that, I can't really. But I would assume it would be or settled person, a contractor company. Yeah, enough to have the problem fixed. Yeah. And it's not sure a lot of higher rate. Try to cut costs, but yeah. The reason copper's been around since 10. There's that. The rest is just. Send this to.
Yes.
So I encourage, before you got here, I encouraged everyone to want it, some have a problem, should vote on, well, all of them addressed. Said, well, checklist is when any of it. So I've been encouraging a lot of people to say, wait until the inspection. So through it, especially based on inspection. And chances are you don't know all the answers yet. Neither do they. A lot of it can. So 80s action, 70s. Yeah, so those are questions we're going to ask. Steel. 30 years for most. The more common one is the ZCL opposite. Those are a lifetime. So whether they're in or out, I haven't ran into one. So what we do, right, to fiberglass, we have a small discount, but cost difference. One was it?
So is there a life insurance company if the client had a leak?
We pay it. So if there's a leak, we pay it. Agent Booster just warranties it. So studies.
Yeah.
But we're the ones. Companies like T will start to lift. So some say 200.
Going all the process with so that's a terrible experience. But it's
Yes.
Sure.
They're not supposed to do that.
I know.
Yeah.
It's not. It was summer.
Yeah.
This was the street. Oil street. And it just.
It'll kill everything.
Yeah, it was a. She sued us. She had sued.
You. We don't necessarily. We don't. See.
Yeah.
10.
Do you have installed? I always just say.
Yeah, we
do not use tanks or us.
recommend Scotia Fuels.
Yeah.
They have a good program, especially if someone. Yeah, and they'll do a free inspection for you, right? So yeah, they came and recognized smell oil. But they're good because they charge a little more for the oil, but they do an inspection. Check the check. It's always good to have those checks and balances, especially as things start. Oil on a home. Yeah, it's still the biggest thing here. Yeah,
Least system.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the fiberglass tanks, if you're going to negotiate as part of the negotiate the fiberglass tank,
Yeah.
2 reasons, because they can take the oil. Steel. I don't really know what. That's what my contact at Scotia Fuels had told me. Going into a fiberglass tank, and my assumption, if I'm going to assume whatever's coated inside, oil that's been sitting going into. I shouldn't say we would ever sell it. There is some give there. Yeah, exactly. No, I mean if it's already empty, going through having that process. They're coming through and can't get it as part of their. That's some. All pretty easy to do it. For the most part, we're really strict. A lot of companies are bids are on, especially through a job. We're strict. So Steve, instead of calling later. Yeah. Fine. Yeah, we close. And then they had a. How is that? It's outside. It's attachment. Say that. Or. It's just someone. How it's moved here. Yeah. Everything except for the second home selling. Doesn't sell. You can tell he was really in retirement mode. Yeah. He's I love. Why not? So one of the things I've always sort of going to ask them a little bit. I don't expect that for auto insurance, but that's my job. I'm a salesperson,
Yeah,
so I'm
sure.
and better for them to have all their eggs in one basket.
That's why I always did it.
Yeah.
But I do. When I feel good about the service I have, I always talk to you. And would there be much difference for them?
Every company stacks their discounts. For us, you can up to 34%. Do the stuff you have better. It doesn't necessarily always work. Situation side with churro, cities on, so that coverage is expensive. But it turns out that even with, and I have a broker specific stuff, that I'm not, I'll refer, send him. I was job. But with, I've done a few that better to some. Our bread and butter for us was Zach. North End, North End Halifax, like, is fairly popular because a lot of the it's surprised how much it is in insurance rate, especially auto insurance. Auto insurance. Back to all I think I watched. I still watch. Yeah. Stuff like everything. Well, yeah, it goes here for a while. You'll look at it. I hear nothing anywhere else, and 2 months later, it's not here and nowhere else, and it's like just. Big part of it that we look at is responsibility. So we know that certain postal there's certain postal risk analysis looks at big picture, kind of looks at visual the so effort higher job or if we're home, so all that's factored to whereas in will accommodate policy but not want to stay buying a home. There's a lot into how we I try to focus. Sorry, yeah, it's slowly trickling in. It's time. Yeah. Yeah, this for an hour and a half. Yeah, there's not, yeah, I don't think there's an hour and a half. Still going in auto insurance.
Yeah.
Usually, that's why they'll see the difference. It's themselves. Allstate really all team because of how sort of well, it's around 10%. Is where a lot of the liability is.
Does it?
It almost does. It almost.
Sure.
Primary heat. No, for us it doesn't make a difference. In some companies, but
Just having
it's the combination of the two. Because then you have to look at fuel tank leaks and you have wood stove, the risk for fire, astronomical liability aspect. Most people say so. So that's something.
So if it was electric stove.
The wood stove still has, no, it's lower, around 10% is the wood stove. I had mentioned that a lot of, especially for a lot of time, wood stove is cheap. But long term, it's not. Well, you're going to pay. David, I generally don't get cold enough that speaking. Of probably the
Yeah, I know. Is it a cherry?
no, it was. And we just kind of stumbled upon it. We had stopped. So worked out well because so it wasn't really any strong.
Just remember it's not cherry. Show.
Envelope.
Yeah.
Probably further up. We're almost. We're kind of on the curve, which is.
I think that was
I didn't. I had. I saw the address. I thought,
spots
where's. The only downside right now is we're packing on a couple. For once spring trees fit. See it. Morning. Yeah, we stopped.
Congratulations.
Hosted our family. Yeah, I don't know if she did. She must have. Or she's just. Stay away from. Well, especially where she were to. Well, it should. Most times.
It's like, just out of stuff. It's like, I can't believe I didn't know that. And I'm like, how would you know it? It's got nothing to do with you.
Well, it's just the assumption people make.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's better. Better for you, it's better for everyone. Then,
Yeah.
and if something goes wrong, he's not getting something.
Exactly. It's just.
Weren't a realtor.
Very long. So.
Yeah. How's Josh doing?
He's doing good.
Here he's getting into aerial shots with the drone.
Yeah. It's done. So. It's waiting. Yeah, it's just. Yeah. It's very.
He just picked that up on his own. Just had an idea and said, was you? He said,
His mother looked
you're
at
pretty,
what,
you're
at
good
what
with
I was going to
technology.
be charged for. I really wanted to draw some properties.
Yeah.
Really, it's just a really good at.
Great for
Pay him
like fresh
this.
property.
Oh yeah. Yes. Start. It's like perfect.
Okay, probably would have thought.
He's got a big.
Yeah, it's neat. I have a.
Just wants to. Not everyone's going to use it. Not everyone's going to use it. How did you start? Still,
It makes it feel like it's a lot.
oh, just I was concerned that it would like.
See the craft.
Yeah. So I just want you to do a couple. Just want to see what it's like. This time, this one is this time. So, let's try.
Yeah.
Loves.
Great company to work
Yeah,
for.
he step. So
Yeah. My best Best Buy, I had several stores. From the side in and Steve.
Yeah,
And
it's a total,
it's a different work environment.
it's a good work. It's doing.
I see that he's you get to go to
Yeah,
travel.
he's a client. It's just. Yeah, exactly. Well, they do really. Costs are all,
That's great.
yeah, just a really good investing. Like
Yeah.
they invested. So it's just,
I guess there's a reason.
yeah, he is, he's got his state, he's got a, I think he'll get some of these places that, I mean, they're not easy things to, but he's got all score. Crap.
Do it.
Yeah, who knows where he'll end up.
Good.
Yeah,
Exciting.
it is, yeah. So,
Like sometimes this song
yeah, but so
will both
if I can meet him for
be
lunch
away.
or,
Yeah.
and I don't see we'll ever have. She always talks Scotia and stuff. Oh, she loves my.
She went for school.
Yeah, she's she's I'm good. It's your husband actually.